Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing UFC Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas 2. First, we're doing a prelims video, all in one, all the prelims for this card, and then individual fights will come out, or fight videos will come out for the main card. I just think with prelims sometimes and full card breakdowns, they don't do very well on this channel. So I'm going to do the prelims for a full card, and then I'm going to for a card for a video, and I'm going to do individual, like I just said, for the main card ones. I just think that will help the algorithm a little bit, and I think it'll help people distinct prelims from just regular videos. So either way, let's get into it. First, we have Joe Solecki versus Nurullo Aliyev. It was supposed to be somebody else. Yanel Ashmaz, I think that's who it was supposed to be. But Joe Solecki, 13-5, 2-3 in his last 5 fights on a 2-fight losing streak. You know, lost his last one against Grant Dawson. Just got dominated. It really looked lethargic before they got destroyed by Jakar Close by slam. So it's been, obviously, like I said, 7 months since his last loss. The 31 years old, 5'9", with a 70.5-inch reach, fighting Aliyev, who is 9-0, 24 years old, 5'10", with a 72-inch reach, 1.5-inch reach advantage for Aliyev, who is 1 inch taller as well. Again, this is an interesting one, because even fights that Joe Solecki won, you know, he has 9 finishes, 8 submissions. He's been now finished 2 times in his career. Jakar Close just had a little bit more intensity to him than Joe Solecki. Got caught, I believe, in an armbar slam. But before that, got a rear naked choke against Carl Deaton III. Beat Alex Da Silva majority decision. Lost to Jared Gordon by split. Beat Jim Miller in a back and forth fight. Submitted Austin Hubbard. Beat Matt Weidman. The issue that I have with this fight, honestly, is Joe Solecki has never been one of those fighters that I'm enamored with. He doesn't ever do anything great. The best types of versions of Joe Solecki that we can get is the guy that fought like Jim Miller, or Carl Deaton's not very good. Well, I don't care what his record shows. But, even like Jared Gordon, those types of methodical grapplers can box a little bit, but is a grappler. Really, wrestler. I understand that Jared Gordon has some knockouts with his hands, but again, that's not the point. And pretty sure my mouse has died. Gosh dang it. Well, you guys are hearing me get a battery. So that's great. That's great. That's just great. Son of a bitch. Alright, well, hold on. I gotta get a battery. Got it. Got a battery. Got a battery. All right. But yeah, 5-3 in the UFC. Like I said, he was 5-1 before this 2-fight losing streak. In that loss that he had was Jared Gordon. Not a bad loss, obviously. So, fighting Nurullo Aliyev, 9-0, like I said. He's only finished 2 fights in his 9-fight career, 1-0 in the UFC. 1 win was against Rafael Alves, which is tough because Alves is awesome. And then he got cut after that. Majority decision is weird. That fight was very close, I thought. On a 2-fight losing streak for Joe Solecki, it's tough. Mainly, it's tough because, Joe Solecki, like I said, he's a decent striker, but I think he's consistently one step behind in striking exchanges. Grappling, he's pretty good. I just think Aliev has a little bit more intensity, a little bit more urgency in his fighting style, and I think he gets the job done in this instance. Next, we have, let's get to it. Next, we have Victoria Dudakova versus Fatima Klein. Oh, yeah. Victoria Dudakova, 8-1, lost her last fight by split against Sam Hughes, plus 550 underdog at 25 years old, 5'5" with a 67-inch reach. Fighting Fatima Klein, who's 6-1, got absolutely dominated against Jasmine Jasavicius. Weird fight. Minus 800 favorite, 24 years old, 5'6" with a 67.5-inch reach, 1 inch in height for Klein, with a half-inch reach advantage also for Klein. The biggest thing for me in this one is Victoria Dudakova is, to me, a little bit more well-rounded. She lost to Sam Hughes, who is very game, I would say. Dominated Jinyu Fry. Beat Estela Nunez, dislocated elbow, which was a tough one, obviously. Fatima Klein. It's weird because she had good moments, I believe, in the first round in the Jasmine Jasavicius fight, but she just started to fade, and Jasmine started to find her rhythm, and then she won. The thing that Dudakova has to watch out for, I think, is the power of Fatima Klein on the feet, but I think Dudakova is just a little bit more well-rounded, and she can mix in her strikes a lot more, especially coming off of her first loss in her career. I really think Victoria Dudakova is going to win this matchup. And then next we have Magomed. Oh, let's try this name. Magomed Gadzoyaslov. Ooh, Jesus. Fighting Bruno Lopez right here. Magomed 9-0, minus 175 favorite, 31 years old, 6'2" with a 75.5-inch reach. Fighting Bruno Lopez, 13-1, 4-1 his last 5 fights. That loss was Brenson Roberio on the Contender Series. If you haven't seen that one, go check that out. It's a wild one. Plus 150 underdog, 31 years old, 6'2" with a 74-inch reach, 1.5-inch reach advantage for Magomed. So Magomed coming into the UFC definitely had some hype on him. Like, he's a decent striker. He's a pretty good striker. 5 finishes out of his 9 wins, I believe. 9-0. So, yeah. Beating Brenson Roberio by majority. He had to grapple. The leg kicks were really, really affecting him in that matchup. Beat Jose Medina. Just battered him in that one. It's weird because he hasn't fought great talent. Up until Magomed Sayed Malem in 2022 was his highest opponent. I mean, everybody else had, I think his highest before that was 5 fights. So, yeah, not very good. So, it's a little question mark. You don't really know where he's at. Brenson Roberio, I think, is okay. Very limited in his movement, in his abilities. Bruno Lopez, even though he was caught, obviously he was caught by Roberio, I believe, as well. Yep, 2 fights since then. The thing for me in this one, I just think Lopez, for one, has big power. If Magomed can't get him down, I think he's in trouble. I think Lopez is going to use his leg kicks a lot in this one because he's seen the results that he was having with Magomed. He's a decent grappler also, if you look at it. He has, 11 finishes, 5 submissions, 6 TKO or KO. Has been finished once. Like I said, obviously, it was against Brenson Roberio. But yeah, I like Bruno Lopez. I think he gets the job done, and I think he's going to look real damn good in this one. Next, we have Ernesta. Here, let's pull it up. Ernesta Karakady. Hopefully that's right. Ernesta Karakady. Nicole Callery. Ernesta 5-1-1, 3-1-1 in her last 5 fights. The last loss was against Denise Barboza. I did not think she lost that. I got to be honest. Minus 230 favorite, 26 years old, 5'9", with a 71-inch reach. Fighting Nicole Collery, 8-2, 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Her last loss was against Kate Hansen 5 years ago, who's not good. Beat Corinne Laframbosi 3 months ago by armbar, plus 190 underdog. 28 years old, 5'3", with a 62-inch reach. 9-inch reach advantage for Ernesta, with a 6-inch height advantage as well. You already know that Nicole Collery is going to be looking for takedowns. Ernesta, if you watched her in the Barboza fight, she did pretty dang good defending takedowns. I thought, her striking, her volume won her that matchup. God damn, this fucking light's making my face look red. It's not at all. I'm pale as a ghost. So, thanks, fucking light. But, yeah, I really liked Ernesta on this one. I think the volume, even if she does get taken down, I believe she did in the Barboza fight, she gets right back up. So, at least works her way up. So, I like Ernesta a lot in this matchup. On to the next. I think she gets the job done in that one for sure. For sure. Okay, next we got Preston Parsons versus Jacoby Smith. Preston Parsons, 11-5, 2-3 in his last 5 fights. 29 years old, 5'11" with a 71-inch reach. Fighting Jacoby Smith, who's 9-0, 28 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. 1 inch in height for Parsons with a 1-inch reach for Smith. Jacoby Smith, if you don't know this man, you should. 7 finishes, 2 decisions. Again, it's another one of those things where you don't know how good he is because of the competition, but like 13-9, 12-11, 7-5, 10-1-1, and then 11-5. Now he's fighting Parsons at 11-5. Christian, I would imagine. Savoli, 10-1-1, ground and pound in the Contender Series back in October. So, again, I think he does good. I think his striking is pretty good. His intensity is what really can cause some problems for Parsons. I think Parsons will be okay early, but I think Smith, as he finds his rhythm, as he finds his accuracy, I think he hurts Parsons because Parsons, his nickname says it all, pressure. I think Smith catches him coming in, hurts him, and then ends up finishing him against the cage. I think Jacoby Smith does really good in this short notice matchup. Next, we have Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. Thiago Moises is 18-8, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, minus 175 favorite, 1-2 in his last 3. 29 years old, 5'9", with a 70.5-inch reach. Fighting Trey Ogden, who's 18-6. He's 3-1-0-1, plus 145 underdog, 35 years old. 5'11", with a 72-inch reach, 1.5-inch reach for Ogden, with also a 2-inch in height for Ogden. The thing, with Ogden, we've seen it come out a little bit, was his striking defense isn't great. Loic kind of exposed him a little bit. He was pretty tired, but he was able to find takedowns. So he just wrestled him the entire time. Bullied him. Moises isn't a great striker. I don't think he's a bad, necessarily a terrible striker, but he's not good. That being said, he's decent on the ground. He's good if he's on top. The problem with it is I think the kicks from Ogden will keep him at bay. And when Ogden wants to initiate Moises with the grappling, I think it'll be obviously Ogden initiating that, going for takedowns, ending up on top. And if he can end on top, I really think Ogden can win this matchup. I don't think Moises is great. I think his record is a little bit better than what he is. Hasn't won a fight in 9 months, and that was against Mitch Ramirez, who's just bad. And then got bullied by Ludwig Klein. Did look decent, I believe, in that 3rd round, I believe it was. He dropped him at some point, I believe it was. But I think Ogden with his grappling, his very heavy top pressure. I like Trey Ogden in this matchup. Now, I believe we got two more. Marco Trulio versus Ior Potiera. Marco Trulio, 12-1, minus 450 favorite, 6'12" with a 70-inch reach, 30 years old. Ior Potiera is 21-7. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights, plus 350 underdog, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach, 3 inches in height with a 1-inch reach as Well, now, you look at Potier, he's been stopped quite a bit of times, just in the UFC. 3 times in the UFC. He's been finished 4 times. He's 2-5. Should he be 3-4? Possibly. There's a fight in it that was a little wild, but sure. Should have been Rodolfo Bellato. Probably should have won that. Referee probably should have stopped it, but he got finished. So, Marco Tulio, 12-1, like I said. Decent win streak at 8 wins in a row. You know, that one loss obviously was the TKO loss in the second round, and it was against Alessandro Silva back in 2018. If you haven't seen it, it's a little weird. I think. But competition-wise, hasn't fought anybody all that great. He fought a veteran here. You know, Contender Series guy he fought was 6-2, and he landed a spinning back kick. Yeah, you haven't seen that one? Dude, last season's was pretty freaking awesome, so you got to watch that stuff. But I really, really like Marco Tulio in this one. He has to be careful of Potier's movement. His movement can cause some weird-ass angles when he's deciding to strike. And we've seen him hurt a couple fighters with that awkward movement, with that aggression that he's been showing as of late. But I like Marco Tulio in this matchup. Next, we got Jose Johnson versus Felipe Bunez. Jose Johnson, 16-9, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, 1-2 in his last 3. Minus 225 favorite, 29 years old, 6 foot tall with a 71.5-inch reach. Fighting Felipe Bunez, who's 13-7, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Last fight was Joshua Van 11 months ago, where he did have good moments, I believe. Yeah, he had really good moments against Van. Plus 180 underdog for Bunez, who's 35 years old, 5'7", with a 71-inch reach, half-inch reach advantage for Johnson, with, gosh, what is that, 5 inches in height for Jose Johnson. I think the kicks, the aggression is going to really help Bunez early, but I think as the fight goes on, we're going to see Jose Johnson, you know, start to mix it up a little bit better, start to go to the ground a little bit more as the fight goes. I like Johnson either by decision or a 3rd round finish. Bunez, I just don't trust that cardio until I see improvement from that cardio. I like Jose Johnson in this matchup. I don't think he's all that great, but I do like him in this matchup. And as always, guys, subscribe, like, and comment. Let me know who you're picking. Peace.